Thanks for joining us live here at Eagle Eye Network. We're here at Conwell Egan Catholic High School getting ready for the PCL semifinals as Archbishop Wood takes on your Conwell Egan Eagles. I'm Dan Connor. I'll have the call here this afternoon. Matt Sheridan not able to make it be with us today. We'll have Sean McGovern, JT's going to do a little behind the scenes work this afternoon, and then Michael Walsh will be along in just a little bit. So, Sean, we come into today. The last time that Conwell Egan played Archbishop Wood, it was 4-2. They are not going to see the pitcher that we thought here this afternoon. We thought it was going to be Sell, but it's not. Sell last time pretty much kept them quiet, but the pitcher that they are facing had an 8.30 earned run average their last game against Conwell Egan. What do you think we're going to expect to see here in this playoff game today?
Well, I expect a more cleaner game by Woods pitcher. I mean, I'm sure he wasn't given a day's notice, kind of like how we've seen in other times with other teams. I'm sure he was given probably a week's notice, maybe even a little tiny bit less, but just that enough time to prepare himself for this game and get his head on straight. I'm pretty sure that Wood today will be going into the game strongly as they are considered the underdog today and they are looking for this win. So I don't see a means as a high scoring game because that Wood versus Egan game we saw in the season, the pitcher was kind of thrown into it. He wasn't prepared well enough. So I'm sure this will be a much better game for him.
I do agree, and if you look at his numbers overall, in eight appearances this season, he has an earned run average of a 115. He has started in three of those games. And Coughlin himself, well, he's not this huge walk guy. He's only walked eight across the year, and he has 17 strikeouts with three earned runs to his credit. We tried the other day to get a multi-camera system up and going for you. Unfortunately, that didn't work. The camera seemed to overheated out in the outfield. Well, we're going to try again here this afternoon as we were able to kind of get a different camera out there. It's not going to be our original broadcasted camera, but we're able to try to get you at least an alternative view than behind the plate here instead of you constantly looking at the fence. Well, it will be Brady Guzzi on the mound here this afternoon for the Conwell Egan Eagles, and Brady really has been dominant. What do we need to see early on, not only from Brady, but from the team behind him, especially with Colin Edwards still out?
Well, as you were saying before, Brady Guzzi, dominant pitcher, a lot of first strike pitcher. So that is something we are looking to see here today is a lot of first strike to the batter. And for his defense, just got to have good, clean fielding. The infield is where they struggle the most. Those hard ground balls that may hit a rock in the grass or may hit a divot in the dirt kind of take a toll on these guys as the game moves on. So if we can have some better footwork, better glove work on the infield and the dirt, I think they're looking for a solid performance today.
Definitely agree with you. And his defense will line up behind him with Garofalo in left field, Landau over in center, Freitag in right, Hartley at third base, Keegan Johnson at shortstop, Colin Laverty at second, Jake McLean over at third, Kalita behind the plate, Guzzi on the mound, and CJ Cuevas will be the designated hitter here this afternoon. He will hit for Hartley. And the starting lineup here now for Archbishop Wood is Cavallaro will lead it off, will be in center field, and it'll be Nardone batting second and in left. Hopkins third and catching this afternoon. Vaca batting fifth and in right field. It would be Bailey sixth and at shortstop. Seventh and at first base is Walls. Di Giuseppe will be batting seventh at second base. Clay eighth and at third. Ninth and designated hitting here is Broadwater. So as we mentioned, Guzzi coming into play here, and we're just about ready to get this game underway. Guzzi would have earned run average of a .29 so far this season in nine plate appearances to his credit. Guzzi, that left-hander out on the mound who can really move that ball both up, in, and out of the zone to really give the batter's eye a different view.
Yeah, as you're speaking about that urine and everything, that is what earned him the PCL MVP. So it's good that Conwell Egan Eagles have an MVP this season on the mound for them in this tough game.
I definitely agree. And right now it is LaSalle and Newman Goretti facing off. And the other game, the winner will play. Right now, we checked the score a little while ago before we got this game underway, and Newman Gretty has that lead of 1-0. So we're ready to get this game underway here. Conwell Egan looking to get to the finals that will be on Friday, and it'll be Cavallaro, the center fielder rather, leading it off here this afternoon. He leads his team, or he's second in his team in batting average, batting a 4.11, just behind Vaca, who has a 4.18. So it'd be a lefty against lefty combination. It begins to get things all started off here. Sorry, a little get caught up on words here to get things started off here. So lefty against lefty, and we're just about ready to get this game underway. Here's the windup in the first pitch of the ball game. It's fouled back to the screen there, so the count moves to no balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, I used to play with Chase Cavallaro over the summer. He's one good hitter. I mean, he's that slap type of hitter, how softball has their own slap hitters. He's that slap hitter that will use the entire field. He's not afraid to pull, not afraid to go oppo. He will look to get on base and to do it well. So this was a tough matchup for Guzzi to start off with, but just good all around.
Carlo down in the hole right now, 0-2. Here's the 0-2 offering from Guzzi. Just outside, kicking up a little dirt there. Count moves a ball and 2 strikes. The wind picking up a little bit. It's moving more from left to right. We're going to try to keep that camera outside as stable as possible for you. But on the tripod that it's on, it will be a little windy and a little rocky at times. The 1-2 pitch. Downstairs at a third again, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Guzzi really just trying to get him to chase here. We'll try to get that fastball or slider down and away. He'll try it early on, see what batters actually give, and if they do, that'll be his strikeout pitch throughout the game. So 2 balls, 2 strikes just underway here. Here's the 22 kick. Breaking ball misses upstairs, full count.
Yeah, this is not exactly what we've seen from Guzzi before, but again, it's the first batter of the game, so there's a lot of baseball that's here to play. Guzzi almost toying with the batter as there's a liner, foul ball. Yeah, Guzzi is almost toying with the batter at that point, trying to get a swing and a miss after 2 strikes. So it's not horrible baseball. It's actually, in my opinion, smart baseball. Try to get the 2 whiffs and then pound the zone. So it's good for Guzzi to see that through.
That's something he does well early on is finding that pitch that they're going to swing at, which really lowers his pitch count later in the game. We'll see it a lot of times. Guzzi will get out of first or second with 15 different pitches, but then as you begin to proceed throughout the rest of the game, it gets a little lower. Another full count offering here just misses upstairs. So we'll lead this one off with a walk. So and that will bring along now the left fielder, Nardone. Nardone here coming into play. He's batting a 365 on his season. He has crossed the plate 23 times this season for Archbishop Wood. So a runner on first, and they're going to check on him, and he is back diving. So Nardone, another key hitter here for this Archbishop Wood team. Guzzi set. He looks home. Squaring. It is on the. Ooh, no. Looked like he was going to say outside corner. That one was outside there, according to the home plate umpire. So it's 1 ball and no strike. So Guzzi really falling behind both hitters here after getting ahead on the first 2 pitches. It's been 5 straight balls. The pitch home. It is bunted. Third baseman Hartley going to come in, but it's going to be fouling out of play there. So the count will move to 1 ball and 1 strike.
You're right there. This isn't the exact thing that we've seen from Guzzi. I mean, usually this early in the game, he's not, I wouldn't say struggling, but doesn't seem like he's on his A ball. Now, again, a lot of baseball to play, so never know what could happen with him.
Hartley in. Here's the pitch home. A 1-1 bunted foul back behind the plate. The count moves now to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it's a good attempt by Wood there trying to bunt, move a runner over, get him into scoring position as early as possible. But I mean, with 2 strikes now, infield can't be expecting another bunt, can we? I mean, just kind of got to play back a little bit, try to turn 2.
That one fouled back off to the screen, so the count remains a ball and two strikes. And you did see there Hartley move back, not quite back into that third base position. He was still there on the infield grass, but he does move it back onto the infield dirt now. So ball, two strikes here to Nardone at the plate. It was a leadoff walk to begin this game. Check on the runner. Again, he's back diving. So the count is a ball and two strikes. Nardone, as we said, comes into today batting a 365, and the pitch is a ball, so it'll be two balls and two strikes. Now, you have the question, Sean, is Guzzi tired right now after pitching so much over the past couple days, or is it just, he hasn't found that pitch that's really getting these wood players yet?
I would say it's not so much that he's tired. And did he go? He says he went. That is one out. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's so much that Guzzi is tired per se, but it's a hot day, so he's definitely sweating. Having already prepared himself for this game has definitely brought his stamina down a bit. So it's just about him finding a nice rhythm with this new temperature. Kind of used to playing that more 70s, honestly 50-degree weather, and then playing today in what feels like 90.
Well, here's Hopkins now. He leads this team on walks with 20. He'll foul the first pitch off. It's 0-1. Hopkins this season batting a 255 with an on base percentage of a 486. So we started off with a walk, then a strikeout and a foul ball there. Another check on a runner over there at first, and he's back diving again. So the count remains no balls and one strike to the batter at home. Hopkins is catching this afternoon for Archbishop Wood. Guzzi set. Another check over, and he's back.
Not a bad idea to keep the runner close to base. Cavallero does have four stolen bases this season, so it's not a lot and not as much as we've seen other teams, but he does lead, my apologies, secondary leading to Nardone with six in stolen bases for Wood. So not a bad idea to keep him close.
Definitely not. That one outside. So they'll move one ball, one strike, one out here in the top of the first inning. It's the PCL semifinals between Conwell, Egan, and Archbishop Wood with LaSalle and Newman Gretty facing off on the opposite side. The 11's a ground ball to the left side through the hole in the left field for a base hit. So it is a one out single there. And there'll be runners at first and second now with one gone.
Kind of an unlucky fielding thing for Conwell Egan as they were pinching the middle, trying to get that double play ball, and then you see Hopkins just measly puts the ball through the six hole. So unlucky there. Johnson did give a nice diving attempt to keep the ball in front of him, but it did get past sadly. So
Hey, just a little too far close to the second base bag there was Johnson, and unfortunately that one hit a hole into the left field. Where's Vaca now? Vaca leading this team in batting average with a 418. He takes the first pitch down and into the dirt. It's one ball and no strikes. In addition to that, Vaca is doing extremely well with a high on base percentage and definitely one of those players that you have to watch at runners in scoring positions. So first and second, here's the pitch home. It's a short hopper to the right side. Second baseman has it, goes a short way to first. Look at the second out, but the runners will advance.
good way to get another out. I mean, you're just moving a runner to third base, leaving him there, but now you have two outs. So it's a smart play. Instead of trying to get the risky double play ball, that's a smart move by Colin Laverty out there at second base to at least get one.
Green here's Bailey now. Bailey 364 this season. Bailey comes into today with 13 walks and 7 strikeouts. Here's the windup of the first pitch to him. It's swung on a miss, a ball sailing downstairs. So the count moves to no balls and one strike. Bailey does have 12 RBIs on the season, so looking for that 13th here. Lefty against righty combination as Bailey at the plate. Because he cranks and fires the pitch. It fell back to the cage there. It's 0-2. So no balls, two strikes. Guzzi behind a few batters here, but he looks to have found his groove. And as we mentioned, up to 20 pitches thus far, but you'll watch that pitch count slowly die out as the game goes on.
Wouldn't mind something inside here with Bailey stepping on top of the plate.
Guzzy nods. It'll be a nice pitch on the inside corner. Here it is. They went there, swung on and missed. Out number 3. So a walk, a hit, a strike, 2 strikeouts, and a ground out. We are headed to the bottom of the first inning. No score here at Conwell Egan High School. Back here on the Eagle Eye Network, it is the bottom of the first inning. Here's your starting lineup for your Conwell Egan Eagles. Batting first, and at shortstop, be Keegan Johnson. Second and right field will be Danny Freitag. Third and pitching will be Brady Guzzy. Fourth and in center field will be Connor Landau. Fifth at catching this afternoon is Tommy Kalita. Sixth and at first base is Jake McLean. Seventh at designated hitting is Cuevas. Eighth in the left field is Garofalo. Ninth and at second is Laverty. So, they will face a different picture than what was expected here this afternoon. It will be Coughlin on the mound. And as we said, the last time that Coughlin pitched against Conwell Egan, he had an 8.37 earned run average. Yet, overall on the season, he has had an earned run average of just a 115. So he's definitely someone that we're going to have to watch here this afternoon to see how he adapts and then begin to kind of judge as he goes along. And with Keegan Johnson leading it off here, Johnson this season comes in today batting a 370, the second highest batting average on the team besides Danny Freitag, who is back into the game after being on concussion protocol. But one person we are still missing is that of um, Colin Edwards. Edwards still out here this afternoon. How does that hurt this Conwell Egan team?
Well, you lose a shortstop. He's a junior, and he was brought into this role at the start of the season, Colin Edwards, at the shortstop position, a prime position, which moved Keegan Johnson, the original shortstop, over to second base. Now, with him out, you lose a glove out there. Now, he was put as the 9 hole, so there's a drive to right center. Under it, Camping Wood comes in, makes the grab as one away for Archbishop Wood. That's what I was saying. Colin Edwards was a solid defenseman for the Conwell Egan Eagles, making extraordinary plays out there, and a solid bat as well. Not the type of guy to hit a home run or do anything crazy, but a type of guy to get on base for you and bring the top of the lineup come around. So it's unfortunate that he is missing today's game.
That's true here. Freitag now after the one pitch out. That one back behind him over his head. He doesn't like it as he stares down the catcher. Count moves to 1 ball and no strikes. Freitag banging a 395, and Freitag really not liking that pitch there due to just coming back from concussion protocol after missing those games. That one up near his head. So Freitag's, steps back into the box. Now 1-0 count to him. Here's the cranks and fires his Coughlin. And misses high and out upstairs, so 2 balls and no strikes. Now Freitag's going to take a couple pitches here, something that Johnson didn't do. He's a little aggressive out there. That's something we normally see of Keegan Johnson. 2-0 delivery. Missing there, 3-0.
You're right about that. Definitely something that you should probably be a little bit more patient as the leadoff guy. See him a little bit more pitches, try to wait on your thing instead of attacking. But it's also not a bad play because if you get on early and attack, you're setting the tone for your own team and you're setting a nice standard for the guys to follow. So it's kind of about who do you want to be that leadoff, the more aggressive or the more patient, let the game run on type of guy.
I agree that one outside, but called a strike. So the 3-1 offering fell back to the cage now. Count is full. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. So one out here after Keegan Johnson swung at the first pitch and lifted it to center field. Fry tag back into the box. Coughlin cranks and fires the full count offering. Swing and a miss, struck came out. So back-to-back outs, and that'll bring along the pitcher, Brady Guzzi.
So this is I'd say a pretty nice game because it's your two versus your three. Conwell Egan at the two standard for the PCL and Archbishop Wood coming in at the three standard in the semifinals. So it's a nice game to see here in the semifinals game. Your two and your three teams kind of battling out to see who will go into the championship. As Brady Guzzi lifts one high out to center field. Under it, the Archbishop Wood center fielder Chase guy, and he's cut off by his own teammate as they still make the grab. Looks like there wasn't much communication out there. So that could have ended badly for Archbishop Wood, could have given Brady Guzzi a double, but unfortunately not. But as I was saying, the 2 versus the 10, or my fault, the 2 versus the 3, as Conwell Egan versus Archbishop Wood, and Conwell Egan is sitting at PA State rank 10, while Archbishop Wood is sitting at 13. So again, a close matchup where we will probably not see a blowout today.
Back here it is the top of the second inning. No score here at Conwell Egan High School. And leading it off here will be the first baseman, Walls. Walls wearing number 1 on his back here for Archbishop Wood will bat from the left side. A lot of left-handers in this lineup this afternoon. He's batting a 2.14 this season. So the first pitch here from Guzzi swung on and missed. That one kicking some dirt out of the glove there. Count as no balls and 1 strike. Guzzi fires that 1 strike pitch home. It grabs the knees, 0-2.
Solid back-to-back pitches from Guzzi. This is kind of what we'd like to see out of him, just back-to-back strikes, pounding the zone.
0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. 1 gone.
Beautiful execution there. Again, this is kind of the pitcher that we've been seeing all season. Looks like he's starting to bloom at this point in the game, trying to find his rhythm. Hopefully he can stay in this.
On the first pitch, that's fell into the dugout there. It's 0-1. And it's D. Giuseppe in right now at the plate. He's been at 304 this season with 11 RBIs to his credit. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a high fly ball deep down the right field side, hooking foul and out of play.
See, this is where you have two strikes on the guy and you just fouled it off outside. So do we go back to the fastball, try to see if we can blow it by him?
Swing and a miss. Struck him out. So not quite a fastball, but not quite off speed either. Somewhere in between, but it does get the second out. So back-to-back strikeouts, and that'll bring along now the third baseman, not first baseman, the third baseman Clay. Clay sporting number 2 back there, 241 average, 14 RBIs to his credit. He is third in RBIs. Takes the first pitch for a called strike. It's 0-1. 28 pitches for Guzzi as he cranks and fires the 0-1. Swung on and missed. That won't buy him before the bat even got out of the batter's box. 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2-strike delivery. Foul to the first base side and hooking foul and out of play.
Now this is where the challenge comes for Archbishop Wood hitters. The pitcher has now finally found the rhythm just 2 innings into the game. So what are you going to do? You can't wait for him to think that he's going to miss the zone because when he does that on purpose. So you got to think, as an Archbishop Wood hitter, you got to be ready to swing. You know that the pitcher's going to come in. You know that he's going to try to hit you with fastball up, maybe a slider away. But most importantly, you got to be ready to swing with this pitcher who is coming to a dialed set.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. Top of the second inning. No score, no hits aside for either team as this, or 1 hit aside for Wood. It's not up there in the scoreboard. It's kind of just glancing. We're not looking at my book here. The 22 kick. Upstairs, full count. So if the Brady got him 0-2, he's going to fall behind here. 3 balls and 2 strikes. This will be the 34th pitch of the game for Guzzi. Sends this one home. On the outside corner, called strike 3. Guzzi strikes out the side. We are headed to the bottom of the second. Still scoreless here at Conwell, Egan High School. Here in Eagle Eye Network, ready to start this bottom of the second inning. It'll be Connor Landale that will lead it off here for your Conwell Egan Eagles. Landale batting a 327 this season. He has 17 RBIs, and he's looking to get something started here for the Eagles. Here's the windup of the first pitch to Connor. It's a breaking ball. That's just going to hit him, so we'll be aboard after the hit by a pitch. Bring along now the catcher, Tommy Kalita. Kalita coming into today, 326 on the season, 15 RBIs to his credit, over 46 at bats. So Kalita and Landale split the catching between this Conwell Egan team. Coming set, there's Coughlin. Cranks and fires the first pitch home. It's a skipper back towards the mound. He has it, throws it to second for one to first. Double play. So a double play there, and that'll take a little bit of momentum out. So after Blandale was hit by a pitch, we'll have a 1-6-3 on the putout, and that'll bring along now the first baseman, McLean. McLean batting at 257 this season on 3 RBIs. Here's the windup of the first pitch to McLean. It's on the outside corner, knee high. Strike is 0-1. McLean not liking that one. And to be fair, the umpire really hasn't been giving that outside corner. It's been more further off the plate. Here's a one strike offering. It's a high fly ball towards right center field. The right fielder's under it, makes the grab out. Number 3. So 1-2-3 to go, and Archbishop or Conwell Egan in their half of the second. We go to the top of the third. Still scoreless here at Conwell Egan High School. Back here in the Eagle Eye Network, it is the top of the third inning. We are still scoreless here at Conwell Egan High School. It'll be 9-1-2 due up here. So it'll be Broadwater, the designated hitter, and then to the top of the order. Guzzi at 34 pitches right now in this ball game. Broadwater batting a 303 this season with 5 RBIs and 10 hits to his credit. Guzzi cranks and fires the first pitch home. It's on the outside corner, knee high. Count is 0-1. Here's the wild pitch, foul tipped into the glove. It's 0-2. 2 strikes now. They crank and fire the 0-2 home. And a miss, struck him out. So we lead off this inning here with a strikeout. And we see at this point, Mike, that Brady Guzzi has found his rhythm.
Yeah, he was in the first inning. He was struggling a little bit, giving up a few balls and some walks. But in the third inning now, he's found his rhythm in the third inning, getting a few strikeouts to his name, and it's looking good for Eagles.
Definitely, this is Michael Walsh joining us his first game. A two back-to-back pitches there for a strike. It is 0-2. Cavallaro is the batter. He's 0 for he's doesn't have an official at bat here. Excuse me. He's 0 for 2 at the plate. Now 1 for 2 at the plate. He walked back in the first. Here's the windup in the 1-2 home. Hard hit ball to the right side. Skips into the hole in the right field for a base hit. So that one's skipping into right. A hard bounce there, and there's nothing you could do about that one.
And that's what I kind of said about the beginning of the game is that these defenders behind Guzzi, it's about that infield, how there's going to be rocks and divots and everything. And as we saw there, looks like the ball must have hit a rock or something to bounce a good, like, 5 feet over Jake McLean's head. Nothing he can do there. So that's just unlucky with this field.
Celebrating along now, Nardone, who struck out, is only tie around, so he's 0 for 1. The pitch to him, low and outside. It is 1 ball and no strikes. Because he said it is Cavallaro over at first. Here's the pitch. It's hit hard down the third baseline and foul. Count moves to 1-1.
Infield playing normal positions.
One
Small pinch at second base. Probably hoping for not another ball through the 6 hole.
Two balls and a strike now. Check on the runner at first, back diving. Here's the pitch. That one in the dirt. So 3 balls and 1 strike. So Guzzi falling behind here after the strikeout and now the single in the right field.
A little bit of a shift from the left fielder Garofalo, playing more towards the line rather than his normal left center defense style. So I guess they're expecting for an outside hitter, maybe someone who will put the ball away rather than pull on Guzzi.
So a walk is there. So a single, walk, runners at first and second. That'll bring along now Hopkins, the catcher who singled back in the first inning. Guzzi checks on a runner at second. He fires the pitch home. It's a breaking ball that nabs the inside corner. It's 0-1.
We can see the outfield playing their shallow outfield depth, not really so much looking to eliminate a double, but rather eliminate that single, which is a good thing that we have seen this season from Conwell Egan, as they're trying to prevent an extra 90 feet.
That one fouled down the third base line, so the count moves in no balls and 2 strikes. Guzzi up to 48 pitches. It is supposed to be C.J. Cuevas coming in relief if we get to that point here this afternoon. Guzzi set. Glances at second base. Fires the 2-strike offering, but then spins back to second. Close there. And we saw Guzzi get called for a balk the last game. Not something that normally happens. And that would have been borderline there, especially if that second base umpire had been over the opposite way. Here's the pitch home. It's a high fly ball deep down the first base side and out of play. So the count remains no balls and 2 strikes.
You got to think a little bit talking about pitch count with Brady Guzzi. This isn't really something we've seen. About 50 pitches in the third inning. Now, it's a little high for Guzzi. Now, that might be an average for someone else, but for Guzzi, as there's a pickoff attempt at second base, runners back safely. Now, for Guzzi, you typically would see him more around the low 40s range right now, so it's just a few more pitches than his normal average. But you got to think that if this keeps up, how much longer does he have in this game?
I'll definitely be a close one. Here's a two-strike pitch again. It's a line drive ball to the right side. The right fielder's in. He calls it, makes the grab, trying to get double up the runner at second. They say he did. So the throw from right field to second base. They say he doubled him up. Time called here by Archbishop Wood. That one looked close, and the Archbishop Wood coach is heated right now.
I would be too. I mean, I know we're fighting for Conwell Egan right now, but that is a tough decision to make by the umpire out there. It did look like Cav, who was on second, got back in time. I mean, from our advantage, at least from my perspective, it looks like he got his hands in there before the ball got into the glove of Keegan Johnson. But there is no overturn. The ump is saying he's out. Spectacular attempt and a spectacular job by Danny Freitag in right field to make a quick throw to second, and Keegan Johnson making that first baseman type of split to get the ball. But that is something that Archbishop would definitely love to have a challenge on.
All right, we are headed to the bottom of the third inning, still scoreless here at Conwell Egan High School. Back here, bottom of the third inning, CJ Quavers leading it off. He takes the first pitch in there for a called strike. It is 0-1. Quavers batting at 333 this season with 2 RBIs to his credit. Here's Coughlin on the mound. Wind up at a pitch. Upstairs, 1-1.
As we can see here, CJ's taking his time, analyzing the pitcher, see where he's throwing it, see if he can get a hit off into the outfield and get a good run off base.
1-1 delivery. On the inside corner, slider sliding on the inside part of the plate. Count moves a ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here. No outs, scoreless still. Conwell Egan still looking for the first hit of the ball game. Here's the 12. Swung on and missed. So we'll start this inning off with a strikeout. And that will bring along now Chase Garofalo. Garofalo playing left field this afternoon, a transfer from Father George High School. He's batting just a 120 here in the season with 2 RBIs to his credit. It is Colin Laverty on deck, another transfer from Judge. Here's the windup and the pitch home. Swung on and missed. It's late on that fastball. It's 0-1. The 1 from Coughlin. High fly ball to the first base side and out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. It is 18 pitches for Coughlin and Guzzi up over 50 at this point. Time called here by Garofalo at the plate now.
You got to think as Garfello's down 0-2 right now, just got to look to slap something. Nothing big, just get on base, do your job. As he's attempting with that, it's a good attempt by him. That's something you want to see. Maybe a little more straighter of a hit, but nothing big. We're not looking for that start of an inning double, not right now at least. So just a nice slap by him could get the job done.
Sure that was fouled off the first base side. Another two-strike delivery. Foul back to the cage there. Count remains no balls at two strikes, and a score updated is LaSalle up over Newman Gretty right now, 6-1 in the bottom of the fourth inning with runners at first and second. So it was 1-0 Newman Gretty. LaSalle back with the lead now, 6-1. The two-strike attempt once more. High fly ball, left center field. The center fielder's over, under it, makes the grab for the second out of the inning. Our first camera outside overheated a little bit. We tried to use a backup camera that was not that great. We're going to attempt to go in and get one more cord to see if we can help you out here. But for now, we're just going to have this one-man camera at the plate. So F8, and that'll bring along now Colin Laverty. Lab batting a 3.16 this season on 12 different plate appearances. The first pitch to him fouled off at the plate. It is 0-1.
Talking about that LaSalle game as we just looked, it looks to be that Caden Schmidt on LaSalle just had another home run to advance the LaSalle 6-1 lead over Newman.
The one-strike delivery now is hit hard to the first base side. The first baseman has it just to fair the line for the final out of the inning. So 3 unassisted. The bottom half of the order goes down in order. We go to the top of the fourth. We are still scoreless here in Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania. Back here in the Eagle Eye Network, it is the top of the fourth inning here at Conwell Egan High School. It will be 4, 5, and 6. It is Vaca in right field that is going to lead it off here. He grounded out to second base his last time through. Guzzi at 50 pitches so far in this game through 3. Here's the first pitch of the fourth inning. It grabs the knees for a called strike. It is 0-1. Wood not licking that call. They are not licking the last few calls here as we had a toss out from right field over to second. Here's the one strike delivery. Missing downstairs. Count moves to 1 ball, 1 strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike to pitch. Down again, 2-1. Here's the 2-1 home. It's a skipper up the middle. Second baseman's over. It gets into center field for a base hit. So a leadoff single there by Vaca, and they're really gathering the hits here. And that'll bring along now this shortstop, Bailey. Bailey 0 for 1 this afternoon with a strikeout to his credit.
was doing a good job of getting their players on base here. Outfield needs to do a better job of stopping these runs earlier.
Bailey 0 for 1. Conwell Egan struggling at the plate, swinging early in the count, squaring, bunted back to the pitcher. Guzzi has, he looks at second, will just toss to first. So the sacrifice works as that'll push Bailey now, or that'll push Vaca down to scoring position as Bailey goes down to sacrifice. Here's the first baseman Walls.
It's a good job by Guzzi to take a look at second and at least get the out. I mean, it looked to me from up here that if Guzzi would have had a nice fire throw to Keegan at second, that could have been an out at second, man on first, back to the situation. So I guess he's playing a little bit more timid at this point in the game. Rather go for the out than the base itself. But all I'm saying is that he could have maybe given an attempt to Keegan there.
Here's the pitch. It's on the outside corner, knee high 0-1. My only problem with that is giving that attempt to Keegan is that fear is sailing that ball into center field at this point. And that it easily allowed him to move up to third. And with the contact that Wood has this afternoon, another threat of scoring there. So I'm okay with that throw over to first as we have the one strike offering outside and low, 1-1.
Yes, you're right on that. It definitely was a smart move to get the out and let the guy have the extra 90 feet because now you have one out and another player to go up against. So definitely a smart move rather than testing the attempt to.
That one fouled down the third base side and now the play. So the count moved to 1-2 strikes. 2 hits for Archbishop Wood so far in this game. Both of those hits coming. One back in the first, one in the third. We got another hit here, so our scorekeeper needs to keep up with the hits on the board over here. He's sitting next to me, so we'll give him a little grief. So 3 hits right now. Conwell Egan still looking for their first of the game. Another ground ball towards the middle. Second baseman over under the glove in the center field for a base hit. Throwing home is Landau. The throw to the plate is not in time. So it is a 1-0 lead here for Archbishop Wood.
That is a beautiful execution by Conor Landau. Sadly, the runner did get across in time, but that was a close play by all means. I mean, definitely not a call that had a one-way decision over the other. Definitely a close play. Good throw by Conor Landau to come in. Unlucky attempt by Colin Laverty out at second. Looks like he could have had the backhand and just missed out of reach. So just an unlucky thing for Conwell Egan Eagles.
Definitely unlucky there. So runner in scoring position here is D. Giuseppe. He has a strikeout and lifts this one foul down to first base side and out of play. And guys, Sean or Mike or both of you chime in. It doesn't really matter. You look down. Every batter that's got a hit thus far struck out against Guzzi the first time around. Does that bring you any concern if you're Conwell Egan at this point?
To me, I don't. I don't think so in any way. I mean, yeah, you have faced Guzzi already this game and already have a mindset of what he's going to do against you. But it's still, Guzzi is the type of pitcher to use that information, actually use it against you, knowing that, hey, I faced you before and maybe this worked and this didn't. Now let me use what did work against you and not use what didn't. So I don't see that being a problem for him. Now, kids are getting hits, and that's just unlucky barrel finding, but they're not extremely well hit at all. They're just out of reach by the Egan defense.
All right, so 1-0. This pair of foul balls there to keep the count at 0-2 with one gone. A runner in scoring position. It's D. Giuseppe at the plate who also struck out his last time around. It is going to be the 63rd pitch for Guzzi here this afternoon. CJ Cuevas will be sure to enter this game at some point. That pitch is high and outside. It is a ball and 2 strikes. About 94 degrees at first pitch, so it is a hot one with a light breeze moving from left to right field.
We can definitely see that the Egan Eagles outfield are playing a lot more shallow than they were. Looks like they're not looking for that so much. No single defense, but that no run defense. A ground ball through the outfield, surely the guy on second is going to take an attempt at home, and the outfielders just have to be ready to make that quick throw. So we can see their steps are a lot closer to the infield.
Freitag really shallow in right field. Another glance at second base. The pitch home here. It's skipped to the right side. That'll advance the runner. It'll be a 3 unassisted on the play, so the second out. And that'll bring along now Clay.
This is not the ideal situation for the Eagles as Wood is coming into this game with winning 7 out of the last 8 and have the advantage their way. They are up 1-0 so far, and they are looking to tally on to that lead. So unlucky that we see Egan is trailing right now, and Wood does have the tone of the game going their way. But you never know what could happen in this game.
I mean, but if you look at Conwell Egan overall, they're scoring a lot of their runners in the middle to the late of baseball games. They're getting through the lineup, they're seeing the pitchers, they're making mental notes, they're getting back out there and really scoring. So there's no reason to be concerned at this point. They did beat Wood for the tutor last time, as this is lifted to the right side. First base is going to give it a look as it's out of play. So there's no cause for concern yet. But as we start getting into the fifth, sixth, and seventh inning, if they don't start getting the bat on the ball, there being no hit right now. They really need to start making some mental changes and playing a little bit of small ball. That one grabs the knee, says the home plate umpire. That one was really low, probably off the shoelaces, 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A runner just 90 feet away from home plate here. Guzzi nods, cranks and fires the 0-2 home. It's hit to the right side. It's fair. Third baseman bobbles, recovers, steps on the bag in time, out number 3.
Good play by Jake McClain there to stay up with his bobble. Again, the field is rocky and a little dented, so you never know where the ball's going to go when it's on the ground. But just solid play by him to get that play at first and keep this to a 1-0 game. As we look out to the fans today at this semifinals game, a lot, right, Mike? Like,
Egan coming out to support their team. Let's hope we can bring it back up. Start a slow start for the Eagles, but I think there's a lot of good things coming from them. A lot of momentum to that.
We are back here. It is the top of the or bottom of the fifth inning, fourth inning, top of the order is Keegan Johnson leading it off. Johnson 0 for 1. He flew out to center field his last time around. Conwell Egan still hitless at this point. They need to get something going now. Here's the windup of the first pitch. It's hit hard to the left side. It's through the hole in the left field. That one's going to be an error there. But nevertheless, Johnson reaches there, so it'll be the first base runner this afternoon here for Conwell Egan.
Egan's starting to pick things up after a slow game. After they're winning 8 of their last 9 games, they're looking to get more players on base and hopefully score a few points.
That'll bring along Danny Freitag, the hometown scorer up here, wants to give it a hit, but it'll be marked an error later. Don't worry. Johnson over at first. Freitag at the plate. He squares, butts it to the right side. And they're just going to go to softway to first. They get the out there, and the lead runner will move up to second.
good execution by Freitag. Just advance the runner, sacrifice yourself, get the extra 90 feet for the team. At this point in the game, you're down 1-0. You want to get the next run across. It's not about you. It's not about hitting a home run or getting a higher batting average. It's about winning the game and just good execution by Danny Freitag.
Say that to a high school player, though, who wants to be the star of the game. It is that much tougher. Here's Guzzi. He can help himself here to pitch. On the outside corner, belt high, it's 0-1. All these high school kids have the visions of being the hero, being that person that is really going to step things up. We'll have a mound visit here with a no ball, one strike count.
Yes, you're right about that. And the fact of being a high school athlete, you want all the glory and all the fame on yourself. You want the spotlight on you. That's how you get the attention. That's how you get people to know your name. You're right about that. But who's going to know your name if you don't win games? Who knows the name of the last place team in the standings? You really don't. You know a good amount of the players who are 1, 2, and 3 in the standings, but you won't know that team who came in last unless you're good friends.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you there, but it's a high school mentality of the that hero. So, mound visit over. 0-1 count to Guzzi. Runner in scoring position. Conwell, you get down by 1. They did take the hit off the board now and scored in an error. Glance at second. Wind up at a pitch to Guzzi. It's outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Guzzi can really help himself here. Had a bit of a rough start back into first. These past couple innings were a little tough as well for him. So the count is 1-1. Looking to drive that run in and tie this game at 1. Set there is Coughlin. This will be the first trouble he's in this afternoon. Steps off as he'll chase the runner back to second base.
Keegan dancing out there at second a little bit, keeping the feet moving. That's what you like to see, although he's not a stolen base type of player. Definitely keep the feet moving because as soon as a ball hits that outfield grass, you're sure to see him rounding third and trying to tie this game.
1 ball, 2 strikes into the foul ball, down the left field line and out of play. 29th pitch to come here from Coughlin, and it really tells a story this afternoon. Ball called there by the second base umpire, and that will move the runner just 90 feet away from home plate. And something that we noticed early on was that double movement there. And the coach is going to come out, but he's got to watch himself here. They classify this as a mound visit, then the pitcher has to come out of the game.
Heard about that, but it doesn't look like he's talking to his pitcher. It looks like he's talking to the ump. Again, trying to challenge what's going on here with the man on second. You don't want to give a free base by any means necessary with Guzzi up to plate. Now, I don't know if you can hear it through the screen, but surely we can hear from up here. Egan's dugout is hyped. Fence is banging. Kids are screaming. Coaches are coming out yelling. This is the sight to see in a PCL playoff game by, I don't know if you can say their rival, but a team in their own division.
6-2, another updated score between LaSalle and Newman Goretti. Bottom of the 5th inning there, so Newman Goretti once a really dominant team under Coach Zoom and his father. They a little bit of a rebuilding process, but able to get things going here as of late. So that's the second time that the umpire and the Wood coach are not happy with each other. He's finally going to go back to his dugout now. So it's a 1 ball, 2 strike count to Guzzi. A runner just 90 feet away from home plate. And you know what, Sean? I'm laying down the suicide squeeze.
There's 2 strikes. Are you sure you want to attempt it? I know Guzzi is definitely the man to do it, but I'm not sure. You don't got that much speed on third. He is fast, Keegan Johnson, but an attempt like that is as there's a bounce ball. Play at home, he is safe, and Guzzi gets first. Excellent hitting by Brady Guzzi to chopper there. Excellent running by Keegan Johnson to go on contact. That is what you love to see. That is what the coaches tell their athletes when they're on third base is you're this close. You are the tying run of the game. You are going as soon as you see that ball hit the ground. It doesn't matter where the ball is going. You are running your legs off trying to score there. And as the throw does not make it on time, Keegan Johnson's able to tie this game for the Conwell Eagles.
1-0 on the fielder, or 1-1 now on the fielder's choice there. And here is Connor Landau. Here's the windup in the pitch home. It's a ball that sails outside. It is 1 ball and no strikes. So tied up here at 1. Speed with Guzzi over there first.
Now, I would say what we heard was the Archbishop Wood talking to their pitcher on the first mound visit of staying away from Guzzi, staying out of his zone. Don't give him anything to hit. And as you can see there, a mistake of putting the ball in the zone for Guzzi. Just hide it up for Egan. And just unlucky, not even unlucky, just not smart by the Wood pitcher.
Brand new ball game now. Here's the pitch. It's at the knees for a called strike. It's 2-2. Guzzi at first, laying down the box. Conwell cranks and fires a 21 pitch on the inside corner as Landau not really liking that call, but he's a little bit closer to the inside portion of the plate this time, so it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Set there's Coughlin. He's getting the signs here. Here's the 2-2 delivery. It's poked foul. Over to first base side. It's going to stay fair, just fair to line. Guzzi rounding second, coming to third. He'll come home. The throw to the plate will be cut off. It'll be a 2-1 game and an RBI triple there for Connor Landau.
That is a spectacular at bat by Connor Landau, getting hit on the first pitch on his first at bat, not having the mentality of seeing the pitcher turn a full at bat to this time being 2-2 on the count and driving one to right field to score Guzzi from third base. That is spectacular, I'd say. And almost, to my eye, is giving me flashbacks from last year when Conwell Egan versus Wood and to have a leading run scored with a man on first. Just a beautiful at bat by Connor Landau. Beautiful at bat.
That breaking ball missing there. It's 1-0.
If he can get Connor home, this would be a great momentum for the Eagles.
Eagles coming into this inning without a hit. There's their first. Here's the 1-0 offering outside. 2 balls and no strikes. That one looking like it was going to look more foul than it did, and then just falling inside that line in right field to give Landau that RBI triple. There's a 2-0 count now to Khalid at the plate, who grounded out into a 1-6-3 double play his last time through. The pitch fell back to the cage. Count moves to 2-1.
Now, I can't say I'm surprised by that at all. That makes Connor Landau's 18th RBI this year. He is leading the Eagles in that section. So definitely not surprised by him to be the one to give Conwell Egan their lead.
21, a breaking ball that misses inside. It's 3-1. Wood wants that call, but the umpire not getting it to either side here, so the count is 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Infield in. The outfield playing is sort of no doubles, kind of single defense. It's kind of in between out there. And a 31 offering here from Wood. High fly ball into center field. It should be a sacrifice fly. Tagging from third is Landau. Here's the throw to the plate. It's going to be close, and he is safe. Sacrifice fly here, and Connor Landau will score. It's 3-1. They're going to challenge. Did he leave early down at third base to throw down? And no, says the umpire there. So it is a 3-1 game, and Conwell Egan has the.
This is the momentum you love to see by the Eagles. They are big at getting these multiple run innings across for them. We've seen it plenty times this year to where they are not the type of team to go 1 run here, 1 run there. They will stack 5 on you. They will stack 8 runs on you in 1 inning. So this is definitely a great momentum that we love to see for the Conwell Eagles.
Bring along Jake McLean. Now McLean 0 for 1 this afternoon. There are 2 outs up on the board, but 3 runs now for the Eagles. Here's the windup of the first pitch to McLean. It's poked foul down the first base side and out of play. Count is 0-1. CJ Cuevas is on deck here. Cuevas will eventually make his way onto the mound as that one's high and outside. It's 1-1. The championship game, regardless of who wins here, will be on Friday at noon at University of Pennsylvania. Here's the 1-1 offering. Check swing. The home plate umpire says he went, so it's a 1-2 strikes. Conwell coming in with a low pitch count into this inning, but giving up 3 runs. All started with the mistake to Guzzi. Cranks and fires the 1-2. Outside and low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ace is empty. Sacrifice. 2 sacrifices this inning. A fielder choice also. The 22. Fouled back over our heads out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 45th pitch here to come from Coughlin. And the Conwell Egan Eagles have some life on their bench again. Not one person sitting down in that dugout right now. Fans are crowding the line. Umbrellas are out to try to keep the sun off them. The 2-2 home. That one hits him right in the elbow or off the wrist there, it looks like. Be hit by a pitch. It was 2-2. There's going to, well, Coach TJ wanted to check on him, but McLean will have himself down that first base line. Here's Cuevas now. Cuevas struck out his last time around. Here's the wind on the pitch to Cuevas. It's a high fly ball down the first base line and foul. No balls, 1 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first base after the hit by a pitch. That is McLean. Setting up on the outside corner there is Wood. They crank and fire. The pitch is there, but too far outside. It's 1-1. 4 hits for Archbishop. Wood, just 1 for Conwell Egan, but on that 1, they were able to get themselves 3 runs. Set is Coughlin. Finds the one he likes, fires at home. It's a hard hit ball to the right side, into the hole, in the right field for a base hit. So McLean will stop at second. It'll be first and second now with 2 gone, and almost a mistake there by the Eagles to get the final out.
Yeah, it's something you gotta be cautious with, as Jake McLean was looking to go to the third on that, not knowing if the right fielder caught up to the ball or not. So just a little more heads up play by McLean out there. Don't want to make the third out on the bases as Garfolo steps into the box. Like Egan, again, the momentum is staying with them. It is not dying yet. 2 outs to their name, but the inning is not over.
Here's Garfolo, fly out to center field, fouls this one back out of play, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Set there, Coughlin. Here's the 1 strike offering. Check swing. Did he go? No, no appeal. So it's 1-1. Now they're appealing. They say no still. So 1 ball, 1 strike. It's a little late. That ball got back to the pitcher. A lot of umpires won't give you that once you throw that ball back.
Surprised that Archbishop Wood has not moved in their outfielders, still staying as far back as they normally are. Now with a 3-1 deficit and a man in scoring position. So you just think that the Wood outfielders, shouldn't they be playing a little bit more shallow, trying to protect yet another run crossing the board as we're coming late into this game?
2 balls and a strike. We'll get to that. I'll get to that in just a second. Glance at second, the 2-1 home. It misses downstairs, kicks up some dirt, 3-1. So as an previous outfield coach, former outfield coach, that tells you one thing, and that tells you that you don't trust your speed in the outfield. That you want to make sure that everything stays in front. And that's what I used to do. If I had a slower kid in the outfield, play so that ball stays in front of you. You want nothing over your head. 3-1 upstairs, ball 4. So bases loaded here after that walk, and that will bring along Colin Laverty. So go back to that, right? it's harder to track the ball going behind you, especially if it's hitting towards you. So if you keep everything in front of you, all right, maybe you let up another run, and then you trust your offense to come back in and really start putting themselves on the board. So that's the way I look at it right now. Slow outfield, and maybe I'm wrong, but that's that impression that you give right now. Here's Laverty. He ground out into a 3 unassisted back in the last inning. So wind up in a pitch on the outside corner, knee high. It's 0-1.
Big position for Conwell, the junior this year, getting his first real varsity experience. As last year he was more of a coming off the bench substitution. Now he's really filled in as that varsity starting spot as he grounds out to second there for the third and final out of the inning. Archbishop Wood finally getting to breathe. But as I was saying, Laverty is that junior who has made and filled this position with Colin Edwards getting hurt, having Keegan Johnson slide over, and you leaving a gap at that second base position to which Lav has filled, I'd say, nicely in the fielding spot.
Back here, it is the top of the fifth inning. It'll be 9-1-2 due up. Conwell Egan takes that lead 3-1, and I will tell you I'm a bit surprised to see Guzzi back out on the mound. It will be Broadwater leading it off here. First pitch is a high fly ball towards first base and out of play, so it's 0-1.
I'm not actually surprised to see Guts back on the mound. You now have some leeway to play with as you're winning 3-1. And Guzzi's only at 70 pitches right now, as there's
Grounded up the middle into the hole, right center field for a base hit. So a leadoff single there for Broadwater, and I go back to what I said last inning. Every guy that had a strikeout now has a hit off of Guzzi.
yes, you were right about that. Now, I don't know if there's a rule to that of like the second time through an order, what you got to change up. But I feel like Guzzi, again, it could be the weather. It could be the weather. This is, I think, the first time we were playing in this hot of a weather. Not that much breeze is going on. So he's kind of used to more playing the 60s that we've seen in the past month and a half.
I agree. The weather definitely is going to take effect here. Cavallaro to the plate now. Single to his credit, and also a walk here this afternoon. The 0-1. High ball to the left field. Left fielder misread it. It's over his head. Back to the wall. It's going to go. One run's going to score here. They're going to hold him at second. This play home is going to be a lot closer than what it should have been. But it is 3-2. And that is Garofalo over there in left field. Not normally an outfielder here for Conwell Egan. He does play infield for his other teams, but he's been playing the outfield. First step's always back. First step's always back, and we saw now twice. This game and in the previous game that we didn't broadcast, where that first step for him was in. that allowed that ball to get over his head.
Yeah, I'd say it looks to me like he's having a hard time reading the ball off the bat. I mean, once it gets into the air, I think he is following it and tracking it on a good eye, good eye. But it's that point of seeing the ball come off the bat. I know as a previous
Bunt down third base line. It's Nardone. Close play at first, but they get the out, and the runner just 90 feet away from home now.
as I was saying before that bunt, as a previous player who was in the infield and then moved to the outfield for a little bit, I wouldn't necessarily be waiting for the ball to hit the air to make my move. I'd actually make my jump as the kid is swinging. I know that's something weird to say, and you don't really get to hear that or know that much as you get older, but you want to make your move as the kid is swinging onto the ball to see whether you want to go back in left or right. To which that is something Garfolo does not look to be doing so much.
All right, they ball to shortstop. They're going to come home with it to throw home, and they got him. Two gone. Smart play there by Keegan Johnson to get the out at home and just letting him take first base. Not a problem with that at all.
Good play by Keegan, as you're saying. Odd situation that we see Cav. Normally, as I play with him in the summer, he's a better base runner than that. Knowing that, okay, ground ball on the left side of the infield, second, my fault, shortstop or third base, you kind of want to hold your position, wait for the ball to get through before running. As you saw there, Cav looks to be more of a happy dancer running on impact. So something that you don't necessarily see out of him.
Back at a single his last time around. The first pitch to him with a runner on first is outside and low. It's 1-0. And you're talking about that outfield again, right? The way you stand, the way you move, and, moving before that bat's even swung. A lot of times when I played center field, I was a center fielder as we had a 1-0 offering. That one's going to grab the inside corner. It is 1-1. I did just as you said. As that pitcher was winding up, I already started turning my body to take that step back. And it put me in that position where, hey, if I need to keep going, I can go. If not, I can easily run in and get that short fly ball to center field. Time called here at the plate with a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Yeah, for a lot to say there is that baseball, as much as it is physical, as you hear the saying a lot, just as much as it's physical, it's doubled, even triple mental, and that's kind of just the mental thing you have to have as an outfield at this level, high school varsity level, to know that hey, I can't rely so much on my physical capabilities to play the game anymore. That I got to actually be using my brain and my mind to predict what's going to happen.
2-ball, 1-strike offering here is lifted high and foul over the right field side and out of play. There is not an empty spot along that first base foul line. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 79th pitch for Guzzi coming here. Kicks up some dust. Count moves to full. Runner on first after the fielder's choice. A run did score, but then they were able to get the out at home. That one out of the arm of Keegan Johnson.
80th pitch coming up for guys, as you were saying. I don't see Cuevas at all lining on the fence looking to come into the game. He is sitting in the dugout right now, so maybe he's waiting for his name to be called to get onto the mound, but looks like they're going to let Guzzi ride out, maybe at least finish this inning, as he does have 2 outs. So just one more to be used.
3-2 our score here at Conwell Egan High School. Full count as well. 1 run across here for Archbishop Wood in their half of the 5th. A 3-2 delivery by Guzzi. Well, outside ball 4, so first and second now with 2 gone. That'll bring along Bailey now, who has a sacrifice and a strikeout to his credit in this game. Bailey batting from the right side. Conwell Egan's outfield is pretty much in normal depth besides Freitag and right as he danced in a little, now moving side to side. First pitch swung on and missed. It's 0-1. Gavin Hartley giving directions out at third after he got a couple signs there from the dugout. Johnson behind the runner at short, so that's why he was not giving those signs. Here's the 1-strike offering. It's hit to the right side. Freitag moving over into foul territory is traveling a lot further and just out of his reach, as it was hard there to judge where that fence line was. So it's 0-2, and Freitag making a long way and you don't want to say it, but you do have to mention it, right? A guy that just comes back from concussion protocol, that fence scares you a little bit more than what it normally would.
Trust me, I have quite capabilities of hitting the fence one or two times. But yeah, you're right. Not knowing how close you are, not knowing your surroundings is definitely something you don't have the best control over, and just unfortunate that you couldn't have made that play.
0-2. Kicks up some dust. The ball, 2 strikes now. Freitag, a good all-around player here for this Conwell Egan team. Great at defense, great offensively. Had a home run to his credit, as that one just stayed inside the foul pole down the left field line about a few weeks ago. So a great player here for these Eagles, and will be great as a senior next year. Here's the 1-2 delivery. On the inside corner, out number 3. We are headed to the bottom of the 5th. One run across for Wood. It is 3-2 here in Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania. We are back here. It is the bottom of the 5th inning, as we saw Conwell Egan bat around in the 4th. And we're back to the top of the order. So Johnson leading it off here for the second time in 2 innings. He reached on an error his last time too, but came around to score and has a fly out to his credit. Here's the windup of the first pitch. It's a slider that grabs the knees. It's 0-1. No ball, 1 strike to Johnson. 1 strike offering. Fouled over the first base side. Hit the netting there. No balls at 2 strikes.
So with Guzzi's pitch count being as high as we've seen in a while, I must say, you think he's coming back for the next inning? I mean, let him finish the game. In my eyes, I see let him finish the game as far as he can get, and come out with a win and have Cuevas actually pitch Friday at UPenn.
That one outside for a ball, 1-2 with Egan on top, 3-2 in this ball game in the 5th inning. And I say no, and the reason I say no is because Wood has been getting some hard contact against Guzzi, and I think that's really going to play into everything here. This one skipped his shortstop. The shortstop has it, fires to first, high off the bag. Ball comes out. He's safe at first, and they're going to keep him there. And the first baseman is injured there on the play. So Johnson safe. He's going to apologize to the first baseman. And what are you doing, Sean? You scoring that one a hit?
That's, in my eyes, not a hit. That's definitely an error. It's tough to say because the first baseman did come off the bag. Yes, it was a lousy throw by the shortstop who, instead of rushing the ball, took his good old time to sit back and wait for it. But I would score that more as an error because The first baseman did tag Keegan before he touched the base, and then the ball popped out.
It, sorry, a little argument going on up here. If you go by what Sean said, he's out, right? You got a couple of the other guys up here going incidental contact. That's why he's not. Because if you look at the new rule book, it doesn't matter. You knock the ball out of the glove, he's automatically out. It doesn't matter if he's safe or not. He's not safe.
Yeah, but it didn't look like any actual incidental contact. It looked like more that Keegan was protecting himself as the kid was coming down, slapping him with the glove. So it looks more like Keegan was just there running through and not trying to purposefully hit the glove or hit the ball out of the glove.
Whatever. Here's Freitag. Sacrifice a strikeout to his credit, runner at first base. Check on the runner there. He's back diving. Conwell Egan up 3-2 right now. They had a 3-1 lead. Would able to get one back. You see the corners in, at least the third baseman in at this point. The first baseman is fine. He'll stay in the game out there. Another check on him over there. He's back diving. Here's the windup. Freitag squares, bunts it to the right side. If pitcher's going to have to play it, he'll go over to first. The leave runner will advance here. So we have runner in scoring position now with one gone. Bring along Brady Guzzi. Now Guzzi reached on the fielder's choice and flew out to center field back in the first inning.
Kind of looks like a repeat of innings, I must say, with Keegan on second, Freitag bunting him over, and now Guzzi up at the plate. As the Archbishop Wood now comes out to the mound, wanting to talk to his players, maybe calm them down a little bit as Egan is leading 3-2.
Guzzi has an on-base percentage this year, Sean, of a 500. Yet, looking through these stack of papers here, he has struck out 92 times.
No, I think that's a
Here's Guzzi batting from the left side. As we mentioned, a fielder's choice and a fly out to his credit. The pitch outside and low. 1-0. Runner in scoring position for him. Conwell Egan up 3-2 in this game. 3-2. Grounded to the right side into the whole right field. Here comes the runner. There's going to be a throw to the plate, but it'll get in. It'll be an RBI single there for Brady Guzzi.
again, I say it. Archbishop Wood in their outfield, they're playing way too deep with a man in scoring position and down by a run. They got to be playing closer. I know Egan would be playing 2 times, double time closer than Archbishop Wood out there, and that is what causing you those runs. Being skeptic of this grass to which home field advantage by far is what Egan has today. Being skeptic of the grass, not wanting to let the ball get past you instead of charging at it and wanting to make a play at home. If I was Wood, I would take a good 10 to 15 steps closer to the infield.
Landau had RBI triples last time around. The first pitch to him is fouled off his foot there. It's 0-1.
Wouldn't be surprised if Connor is swinging as hard as he will be again. I mean, knowing that he does have the power to put the ball far rather than a weak little contact.
Hill 1 is outside. 1-1 strike. They thought about throwing behind the runner there, but he's not too far off the bag there is Guzzi. Had to be actually a pitch runner here is Guzzi. He's going to go back on the mound. It's Dalton Johnson out there. 1-1 strike, 1 out. Here it is the bottom of the fifth inning with a 4-2 lead for Egan. The pitch swung on and missed. 1-2.
Just want to point out, Dalton Johnson back from injury. I believe this is his second game back. He was originally, if you remember, the center fielder who got injured diving for a fly ball. As he steals and Connor Landau drives one deep left field. Under it, Archbishop Wood tracking, and he makes the grab in foul territory. So there goes 2 away. As I was saying, Dalton Johnson's now back from injury with his speedy legs, looking to steal a base, steal maybe even 2 bases before the game's over.
It's Tommy Kalita now. Kalita's only official at bat is when he grounded out in a double play back in the first. He had a sacrifice his last time around. So wind up of the pitch to Kalita is low. 1 ball, no strikes. Checo to runner at first base, back diving there is Guzzi, so the count is 1-0 to the batter. And it is McLean on deck, who was hit by a pitch his last time around. 1-0 delivery outside again. 2 ball, no strikes. Another throw behind that one, sailing shallow in the right field, but the second baseman able to back it up. So no damage done. 2 balls, no strikes to count the Khalid at the plate.
Good attempt by the Archbishop Wood catcher there, but you gotta look. That is a dangerous throw because if that ball was to get by on the other side of the bag, Dalton Johnson, as fast as he can, easily extra 90 feet. So you just got to be a little bit smarter there behind the plate for Archbishop Wood, as you got to make sure you're going to get that runner.
Coughlin set. We're setting up in the middle half of the plate. The pitch. It sails outside. It's 3-0. So 3 straight balls there. Coughlin not liking that calls. Will step back behind the mound, look into his dugout. The coach is not liking the call either, and they've had a lot to say as Archbishop Wood here this afternoon.
Kalita looking to get the auto take sign as a 3-0 count, where unless it's down the middle, definitely would take it.
Johnson at first. The 3-0. Inside ball 4. So, runners at first and second now with 2 gone, and that'll bring along now Jake McLean. With what would be the pitcher at second and the catcher at first. They'll both get a runner. So Kevin McGeary will come in to run for Kalita. So some speed out there here now for Jake McLean. It is a 4-2 game right now with Conwell Egan on top. 3 runs in the fourth, 1 here in the fifth. And they're going to step off and look back behind the mound there. Just kind of giving a look back. to Johnson. Here's a windup and a pitch. It's on the outside corner at the knees. It's 0-1.
Not much you have to do here, as McLean should just probably be looking for a nice ground ball through the infield, as we see Wood, again, staying as far back as they almost physically can. And with Dolan Johnson on second, any ball that's touching the outfield grass, he will be scoring.
Time called here, and CJ Cuevas is on deck for the Conwell Egan Eagles. And after a long inning here, with Brady already at the high pitch count, you question if he's going to be able to come back out and have that same stamina that he did last inning. Here's the pitch home, inside and low. Count as a ball and a strike. One ball, one strike, 2 outs here. Wind up in a 1-1 home. Fouled. Just to the left of Cuevas, who's sitting in the on deck circle, so the count moves the ball in 2 strikes. Huge hole on the left side, and as you mentioned, Sean, the outfield still playing fairly deep here with a 1-2 count and 2 outs. One, two home. Inside and low, 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
Pitcher's a little worried about Dolan Johnson out there on second, to which I don't know as much baseball. I should say, let me rephrase that. I don't know if in the amount of years of baseball I've been playing, but Kevin McGeary's taking a large lead off at first. So if he takes any more, I'm sure Wood should probably look to keep him close. Maybe even get a sneak out right there.
Playing back into the box, 2-2 count to him. The 2-2 home. Fell back to the cage there. Count made 2 balls and 2 strikes. And this is where, if you're infield, you have to read what happened in the game, right? Hit by your pitch was McLean. Then the only one that has a hit in the bottom of the order is Cuevas, and then everybody else has pretty much been off the base pass. So at this point, by you holding that guy on, by you dancing out there, you're giving your pitcher this idea that the next guy coming up might be somebody that you have to watch. So really just back off, let them have the pitch here. It's a 2-2 high and in as he has to dance out of the way there. It's a full count.
Full count, 2 outs. The runners will be going on the pitch.
McLean back in. He's set. So's Coughlin. The 32 spin back to second will throw to the shortstop. It's an old time play there. You don't see that a lot. Where the second baseman is or where the shortstop's more off the bag and you actually throw to that shortstop position. Set the 3-2 home. Fell back to the screen again. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes.
It's go to bat by Jake right here. I mean, having 2 strikes on him, just trying to fight off anything that he doesn't like, looking to barrel a ball that comes into his zone. So just good at bat right here. Love to see him with a base hit to his name.
I really counting the pitches up here now for Coughlin in the inning. This will be his 79th. So he had a low pitch count early, but he's catching up to Guzzi here. The 3-2 home. Poked foul to the first base side again out of play.
You got to think with him, Coughlin, coming up to such a high pitch count at this point in the inning, and Wood being down. Is it time to bring Sell, their number one, into the game? Maybe to keep it a little bit closer, let the bats spark a little bit for Wood.
Another 3-2. Upstairs ball 4. So bases loaded now, and to answer your question with the bases loaded, maybe, especially after back-to-back walks. But if you're going to make that argument, you can make the same argument that Conwell Egan should be moving Guzzi off the mound, as we will have a pitching change that appears to be here. So we'll have a pitching change here. We'll take a quick break on your Eagle Eye Network. Bases loaded, 2 outs. They have the lead, 4-2. Back here in Eagle Eye Network, it is the bottom of the fifth inning. Bases loaded. Unrath on the mound after the pitching change. He has a 2.25 ERA so far this season, a 5-1 record. He has 31 strikeouts and 14 walks to his credit. It'll be Cuevas that will step to the plate now. So it is McLean over at first. What should be Khalid at second, but it's Kevin McGreary. And what should be Guzzi over at third is Dalton Johnson. So Cuevas had a single his last time through, and he's looking to add additional runs and support here for his team this afternoon. So 2 outs, 80 pitches took Coughlin out of the game, and this will be the first pitch for Unrath. So the left-hander now, as he fires the first pitch home, it is a ball high and in, 1 ball and no strikes. And the Archbishop would bench not liking that call again, so it's 1-0. Unrath set, cranks and fires the 1-0 offering. On the outside corner at the knees, it's 1-1. Stepping off there is Unrath as with a 1-1 count, bases loaded. The 1-1 delivery. Swung on a miss, just a tad late. There was Cuevas. It's 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the 1-2 kick. High and out, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Winner of this game will go on to play LaSalle, hopefully on Friday if the weather cooperates. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes as they won against New McGrady, a final of 12-2. Unrath cranks and fires the 22. Swing and a miss, struck him out. So that's how we're ending the inning here. Egan will leave the bases loaded. We are headed to the top of the sixth. They lead the game right now, 4-2. Back here in Eagle Eye Network, it is the top of the sixth inning. Conwell Egan up right now 4-2. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 due up here for Archbishop Wood. Walls will lead it off. He is 1 for 2 today. He had a single and a strikeout through his credit. She made an 86 pitch for Guzzi in this game. The first pitch is in there for a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Guzzi had a long time in between innings, the rest there, so we'll have to watch how he comes out. The one strike offering now from him. Swung on and missed. It's 0-2 as they try to push that one outside. Steve Giuseppe on deck who has not reached yet. He has a strikeout and 3 unassisted. Because he cranks and fires the 0-2. Foul in and out of the glove there. Back to the cage. No balls with 2 strikes. It remains.
Again, the fans here today have not left whatsoever. Still, the fence is lined up. Not an ounce of daylight can be seen through the holes.
Start this inning off with a strikeout, so that'll bring along now D. Giuseppe here with 1 gone. D. Giuseppe is strikeout, 3 unassisted the last time around. The first pitch to him lifted high and foul over the first base dugout and out of play. Count is 0-1. We apologize for the cameras pausing intermittently in between. The heat is starting to get to them, so couple overheated cameras here. That one's on the outside corner, knee high. Count moves and no balls and 2 strikes. 2-strike delivery now. Upstairs around eye level. Not a bad pitch to miss it. We'll get some guys that chase sometime. So it's 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 6 hits for Wood, 3 for Egan, but they have the lead right now by 1. Here's the pitch. Hard hit over the first base side and out of play. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Guzzi cranks and fires the 1-2. In the dirt, 2-2.
You can see here in the infield that Laverty at second base and McLean at first have shifted a little bit over to the line, knowing that the Archbishop Wood hitter is more of an away hitter to Guzzi.
Back-to-back strikeouts here to start the inning, and that'll bring along Clay. Clay 0 for 2 here this afternoon. A strikeout of 3 unassisted. And then we see Coach Manto coming in as Coach TJ is going to accompany him. It looks like we are probably going to have a pitching change. And it appears that we do. So a pitching change here for Conwell Egan. 95 pitches for Brady Guzzi. Right now they are up by 2. And it will be CJ Cuevas coming in. We'll take a quick break. When we come back here on Eagle Eye Network, we'll have the bottom half of the inning.
So some defensive substitutions as Brady Guzzi comes off the mound and CJ Cuevas goes on. We also have in left field Chase Garfolo coming out of left field, Dalton Johnson hopping out to the position. Jake McLean looks to be going over to third base for Brady Guzzi to come back onto the field in substitution at first base. And that leaves Gavin Harley to leave the third base area as well. So, Dalton Johnson goes to left field for Chase Garfolo. Jake McLean slides over to the opposite corner for Gavin Harley, and Guzzi goes from the mound to the first base bag. Those are your defensive substitutions for this inning.
Hi, CJ Cuevas is going to come in the pitch here. And as I said earlier, we were expecting to see Cuevas at some point here this afternoon. Although there's a little disagreement up here in the broadcast booth on whether the change should happen now or whether it should happen a little bit later because he had 95 pitches, can only throw around 100 a week before he is forced to rest. So the only thing that you can really think of right now is that they're expecting the weather to be bad not only Friday, but Saturday, Sunday, and Monday as well, and that this game gets pushed off until next week. Well, Cuevas, the first batter that he's going to face is going to be Clay, and back-to-back strikeouts that started this inning for Brady Guzzi is kind of a surprise to pull him already. Here's the windup of the first pitch. There is a strike on the outside corner, knee high. It's 0-1. No balls, one strike, two gone. Here's the windup and a one strike offering. Foul tip there. Back to the cage. Count is 0-2.
So Cuevas out on the mound here. He's awfully similar to Guzzi. He doesn't have as much velocity or as much movement on his pitches, but he is fairly close. Now, he is a mirrored pitcher, stating that he is a right-handed opposed to Guzzi's left. So that will come into a factor as the bottom of Wood's lineup turns over and a lot more lefties will be coming up to the plate. But definitely not a drop-off from Brady Guzzi.
Cuevas cranks and fires the 0-2 home. Outside, ball and two strikes. One ball, two strikes, two outs. Conwell Egan up right now 4-2. here in the top of the sixth inning. 1-2, just missing there. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Quavers cracks the fires at 22. Check swing, he went out. Number 3. So, Conwell Egan's pitchers will combine to strike out the side. We go to the bottom of the 6th. They lead it right now. It's 4-2. Back here, bottom of the 6th inning here at Conwell Egan, and Dalton Johnson is going to come in and get his first at bat in this game. So Chase Garofalo out, Dalton Johnson in here. Conwell Egan up right now 4-2. Here's the windup. And the first pitch to Johnson's low and outside. Count is 1 ball and no strikes. 10 appearances this season. Dalton Johnson has a 500 average, 2 RBIs to his credit, and he does have himself 1 triple. So that really does show his speed. The 1-0 offering, high and out, 2 balls and no strikes now.
You're right about that speed. Now, Johnson, I would suspect maybe drop a bunt to third base side, try to leg it out. Now, the guy at third base is not playing awfully close, so it's not a horrible idea.
2-0 outside on the knees, 2-1. Kevin McGeary is on deck for Conwell Egan, so he will come in for Colin Laverty. The 2-1 delivery. Hit to the left side. The third baseman has it. He fires it over to first in time. 1 gone. So a 5-3 there on the putout, and that'll bring along McGeary. Never mind, they're going to pull McGeary back, and they're going to send Laverty to the plate. So Laverty stays in. He's 0 for 2 today. McGeary was in the on-deck circle. Then they pulled him back after the ground out there to the left side. Here's the windup of the pitch to Lav. It's a high fly ball deep down the first base side, and now the play. It's 0-1. 0-1 count now to Lav here. Lav playing second base this afternoon. A 1-strike offering inside backs him up a little bit. It's 1-1. We'll go from left back to the top of the order, where it'll be Keegan Johnson. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Upstairs, it is 2-1. Two balls, one strike, one out. The 21 home. On the inside corner at the knees, it's 2-2. Stop. Fourteenth pitch from Unref is high and in, so it'll be a full count. Three balls, two strikes, and one gone. Flaherty is 0 for 2 here this afternoon. 3 unassisted, ground out to second. The pitch to him, poked down the third base side and foul. Regardless of what happens here, this will be Conwell Egan's last game on this field this season. As they'll go to UPenn, and then District will be down at FDR Park. Full cow pitch home. Fouled over the screen and out of play, 3-2. Hungrath cranks and fires the 32. Pokes foul down the first base side. Count remains 3-2. Bottom of the sixth inning here in Fairness Hills, Pennsylvania. Conway Egan up 4-2. 6 hits for Archbishop Wood. 2 errors to their credit as well. And 3 hits for Conway Egan here this afternoon. Another 3-2 offering. Downstairs, ball 4. So a leadoff or a walk here after the leadoff out. And now to the top of the order to Keegan Johnson. Johnson has a fly out and he reached on a pair of errors back in the 4th and 5th inning.
So we do see that Keegan Johnson's coming up for his third at bat of the game, and the coach is giving signals to his players out there for Archbishop Wood. But I see no changes of movement as there's a thrown inside, and Colin Laverty steals second base. But as I was saying, no change in movement from Archbishop Wood. The guys are kind of just standing where they normally sit, staying where they're normally at, which that's surprising to see with a third guy up in the lineup. You think you would move to where he's been hitting.
Again, I think it goes back to that trust game here, right? A little bit of trust issues with your fielders out there, and you're putting them in a spot that you think that they can make the best play for you. Lav at second, the 1-0 home. A high fly ball in the center field. It's fairly deep. Lav's not going to tag, though, as he will retreat back to second. It'll be F8 there on the putout. So similar to the first inning, Keegan flies out to center here, and that'll bring along now Danny Freitag, whose only official at bat came in first after his back-to-back sacrifices.
I've been good friends with Dan for a long time now. His resilient work rate in the offseason really led him to have a great season overall, batting what it looks like to be a 395. He's been putting a lot of work into cages, and it is really showing throughout the season.
Freitag here with one out, runner scoring position. A pitch to him, swung on and missed. It's 0-1. Danny Freitag with a home run to his credit is him and Connor Landell with the only home runs here for this Conwell Egan team. Glance at second, the 1-strike pitch. Fell back to the screen there. Count moves to no balls and 2 strikes. Brady Guzzi on deck. He had 95 pitches in this ball game. Set is Unrath. Steps off the mound as we have Johnson, or Laverty rather, dancing a little bit out there. Two-strike pitch. Another foul ball.
You can see as you're watching Freitag in the box. Now, he did have to bunt his last two at bats, so you couldn't see it as much. But this at bat, for sure, you can see a large, deep load he has to where he kicks that leg up, really sits back in his weight. The bat drops to his knees and then comes back up before he's ready to swing. So a lot of time before that execution is made.
Lav moving again. Conwell gets benched, letting the pitcher here. Spin back towards second. They don't like that. Want to let him hear it a little bit more. But 24th pitch for Unrath here with one out. Two-strike pitch. Inside and low, 1-2.
Talking about that time it takes before the execution of swinging the bat could cost a player such as Freitag here right now. Hopefully, we're looking for him to get a nice hit. But if the ball's coming in too fast and he's taking way too long, he's just going to keep fouling off, fouling off, fouling off, never being on time. So I think with him right now, two strikes approach should be his play. Calm down that load, calm down the feet, calm down the hands, and just look to maybe slap a ball to the right side just to move your runner an extra 90 feet.
1-2. High fly ball. There goes to the right side. The right fielder is trending back a bit. They don't make the catch. And the final out. So we go to the top of the seventh. Conwell Egan trying to send themselves to the PCL finals here this season. Here, top of the seventh inning, it is 4-2. Conwell Egan trying to send them back to the PCL finals in a very long time. They won it in 2006. They would like to win it again this year. The PCL final game is on Friday as of right now, that at 12 noon, weather depending. So it'll be 9-1-2. It'll be Broadwater up, who is 1 for 2. He had a strikeout and a single to his credit. Here's the windup and the pitch from Cuevas. It is on the outside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1. No balls, one strike to count. Everybody's on their feet. Excitement is beginning to build here.
Big spot for Cuevas right here. No people are sitting down. Everyone is up. As I was saying, ball high for CJ. Tensions are high. Egan leading what looks to be an exact score to a previous match of this earlier this year. Looking for a great win as CJ Cuevas comes to play. Now, again, I say tensions are high. This is a new role for Conwell Egan in the past couple years, as they have not been back to the finals since, well, since I could remember. So this is a very, very important situation for them.
The 2-1 home is tap foul. The first base side and foul counts to 2-2. And Sean, If you believe in a broadcaster's jinx, you're talking about the end of the score being the same as the last one. So if that changes, I'm blaming you. So I didn't say it.
Blame me all you want, but I have good faith in the Eagles today, and I have good faith in our pitcher CJ Cuevas today.
Oh, I have faith. It's just you get a little, that jinx that throws in there. The 2-2 now from Cuevas. King and a miss, came out. Let's go back to the top of the order now, and that'll bring along Carolaro, who's 2 for 2 with a walk. There's singles to his credit. Righty against lefty combination. Cuevas is set with one gone. His 11th pitch this afternoon. Here's a breaking ball that just sails all the way back to the cage. The count is 1-0. One ball, no strikes. It is Nardone on deck, so no changes right now for this Archbishop Wood team. Here's the 1-0 offering. Here's a check swing off the glove there, Cuevas. It's going out to the second baseman. He'll slide and he'll eat that one as we will have an infield single.
Laverty out there at second. Looks like a slip and fall hazard, almost like a wet floor you'll see in a school building. Just makes a nice play running. Couldn't catch up to his feet so much. Gotta hope that it's not like a Colin Edwards incident that we had earlier in this year. He looks okay. He's walking nice. Don't want to lose another middle infielder. Don't know how many you have spare.
He just wanted to get his jersey a little dirty. That's all.
It was looking pristine clean before that fall.
Here's the windup of the pitch is inside and low to Nardone there, so it's one ball and no strikes. One ball, no strike to count, one out here. Looking for the double play balls, the infield here for the Eagles. Cranks and fires the pitch home. It's hit to the shortstop. He has it, flips to second for one. The first full play, and Conwell Egan back to the PCL finals here for Conwell Egan High School on the Catholic lead. They will take on LaSalle High School. A huge play there. The middle infield able to get it done as Conwell Egan will send themselves back to the PCL finals. That should hopefully be on Friday afternoon.
You're right about that. Great game by Conwell Egan today. Going down 1-0 earlier in the game. Brady Guzzi not having his best stuff with him, struggling a little bit, being no hit through 3, to then finding their barrels, finding what they need. This is the Conwell Egan Eagles that you will love to see. That 2026 Eagles that will put run after run on you in one inning. Again, they will not waste their time or merely try to go one here, one there. They will pound you with run after run. And that's what we saw here with a beautiful game, a comeback victory for the Eagles today.
Outstanding performance by them, and it was really one of those where you pick each other up, right? Some mistakes in the outfield, some mistakes in the field, but really being right back there to pick each other up and to win this one as a team. They defeat Archbishop Wood, who, as you mentioned, did come into today as the underdog. But, they put up a good fight against the Eagles, getting that early lead, as you mentioned, and being right there all the way.
You're right about that, Doc. But as we say it, underdogs are an underdog for a reason. They are not there to win. Typically, the winner will come out. But on second hand of that, Conwell Egan will be going to the championship as their own underdog. Maybe as we say it, I could possibly see a 2017 Eagles versus Patriots Super Bowl. Maybe a replica this Friday at UPenn with Conwell Egan and LaSalle.
A lot of questions have been stirring from parents, from alumni. Will we have that game on Friday? We don't know yet. We will let you know as soon as we know. We will post something in our social media feed to be able to bring that game to you. But it's a final score 4-2. Conwell Egan advances to the PCL finals for the first time in a long time. I'm Dan Connor, Sean McGovern, Michael Walsh, Edward Lahr, Christian Zal, JT Ellis, all behind the scenes. We thank you for joining us here on your Eagle Eye Network. Join us again on Friday.